Alright, mateys. This is the story of James Hook. We're about to go into a story where he overcome adversities with a physical disability and all that kind of stuff. So get your eyes open and ears open, and I'm done.
Alright, class. Let's call attendance. Peter Pan?
Present.
Tinkerbell?
Here.
Smee?
Here.
Wendy?
Here.
And James Hook.
Here.
Alright. Meet James Hook, a precocious little boy who loves drawing and loves school. These are just a few examples of things that he's enjoyed drawing. Before he knew it, summer had approached him, and it was time for a vacation. So off to Florida he flew for an old-fashioned petting zoo. Oh no, a wild crocodile found its way into the petting zoo. Life would forever be different for James Hook from that moment on. James struggled with simple everyday tasks, or so he thought they were simple, but now they seemed impossible. Alright, good morning, class. Let's call attendance. Peter Pan?
Here.
Tinkerbell?
Here.
Smee?
Smee.
Wendy?
Here.
And James Hook.
Here.
James could barely even write his name now. How would he ever be able to draw again?
So James has been having a little bit of trouble at school with his new appendage after that little incident at the zoo. So we've noticed that he's been having trouble with handwriting, obviously, because he was left-handed. He's now having to learn to write with his right hand. He tried to use a pencil in class and got very angry after all the pencils broke or he couldn't get it to work with the hook. And we had an incident with him throwing pencils at the other kids. Everyday tasks are changing a little bit because he's having to use a different hand, and the hook has been causing some issues. Has that been happening at home?
For the most part, yes, but I would like to point out from the onset that the zoo was his mom's idea, not mine.
Okay.
At home, we do have a bunch of ripped up pants because he has a new hook. So going to the bathroom is a bit of a struggle. He normally takes his anger out like on video games. He can't use his controller the way he wants to because he does have a hook. He cannot text his friends, so that's probably where a lot of his anger is coming from. We have been trying to work with him on it, but as far as school, we're not so sure as to how we're going to overcome these obstacles.
I've also noticed that he has scratches on his cheek. Is that from him, accidentally using his hook?
It could be. He has brought to our attention that he has been dealing with some bullying at school,
Okay.
so it could also be from that.
Yes. We've noticed that too. It's kind of an interesting prosthetic. Did he happen to choose that one?
That was all they had.
That was all they
That's all
had.
they had.
That's
Yeah, we don't
very
have
interesting. I
we
hope
don't
the
have-
doctors are working on getting a new
the,
prosthetic.
we don't have the pest insurance, so.
Okay. Well, I think that we could probably start like maybe a fundraiser for him and maybe look at getting something more practical
Yes.
for his age and his activities, if that's something you guys are interested in.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. As far as accommodations for classroom, he'll probably need to go to the student resource and counselor if he's having trouble with bullying or needs to talk. We have the counselors open, and for the student resource, since he's going to need to learn to write with his right hand, it's going to be difficult. So we can send him there for a little bit during the day so he can learn with his handwriting. As he's getting better with that, we can allow him to use a recorder in class to record what's going on in class, at least audibly, not necessarily video, because that would probably get him off track a little bit. I think audio is the best thing right now. As when he starts learning to use his hook more, we will try to do some activities, some hands-on activities, so he can get used to learning to maneuver things with his hook. Probably talking to the class to let them know the situation, because that's obviously where a lot of the bullying is coming in. And do we have any other suggestions?
As his counselor, I think it would be in his best interest to come see me a few times a week, just so he can, discuss his feelings, and if he is being bullied, he can tell me, who's doing it and whatnot. But yeah, I think with, his situation, it's very rare, and I'm sure he does get teased a lot, and so I think he should come talk to me every now and then.
And I also think he should come to the resource room because I can help him. He can practice his handwriting, and since it is a change from left hand to right hand, it may be helpful for him to come a few times a week, if not every day, to get that handwriting practice in.
I will bring this up to James. I'm not positive how he will react to the idea of going to counseling, because that's not something he's used to, so it's going to take some time. But I'll definitely bring it up to him.
As far as counseling, it'll probably also help with that aggression. We can find things to help him channel that aggression. Do you have any suggestions?
For channeling his aggression, I think just talking about his issues and his problems instead of keeping it bottled up inside, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
And maybe that hook is detachable, correct?
It is.
So when he gets angry, we could always remind him if he needs to, like some kids, they have the stress ball
Right.
or something, or just doing something with their hands since he has the hook, be able to take it off so that way he doesn't accidentally hurt somebody. Because we do have a few holes in the walls from him getting angry, and we'll probably work on getting some more equipment in class so that he can use some more attachments. If we do a fundraiser, we can get more attachments for his appendage.
I noticed that he's very interested in art, so we could potentially get him some interchangeable paintbrushes or writing objects, and maybe give him a canvas and let him kind of channel a little bit into that, I think. I don't know, maybe.
And
We'll
learn,
see.
learn to use that hand, like that
Sure.
part again, instead of, it won't be exactly the same.
Sure. Right.
And he's going to have to learn that it's not going to get back to that level, but we're going to get as close as possible.
I've noticed that at home he has started to, with the hook, he started to tape his paintbrushes to that.
Oh.
I don't know how to make something where we just attach it to the hook. So he's just been taping them, and it's been working for him. So
Sure.
Yeah, he's been trying to do that with crayons in class, but the crayons break very easily, so we've been trying to get him to use some colored pencils and markers. But the problem with pencils is that you have to sharpen them. So I might suggest that we start putting some mechanical pencils in there, so he doesn't have to have the problem of sharpening things. I think he's fine placed where he is in the class. I don't think we need to move him anywhere, but I will put him in someplace not near a wall so that he doesn't accidentally move his arm,
Mhm.
or not near an edge where he can hit another student by accident. And I know he tries very hard not to, but it does happen. And the kids do get kind of upset about that, but we're going to be planning to just talk to the class soon and let them know the situation.
Mhm.
So when you talk to the class, will James be there?
If he would like,
I think it'd be
yes.
better if he wasn't.
Okay, so we could talk to the class at first, and, bring him back in maybe after a counseling session or a trip to the student resource room. And we can get it done that way, and that way he can come back in and go ahead right back to his work, and kids will understand. Because we do have a few students in there who have been helping him out, been very kind, but he still has a few of his friends that are being very, very helpful with their work. They're helping with the worksheets. If he's having trouble writing something, they'll help write it out, explain things to him, and help vent his frustration. So I'm going to try to put at least one of them at a table with him. Maybe just a small group, since we have groups of about 4 or 3. We do have a small area, which a group of 2, but if it's just 2, I'm afraid he might get too distracted.
Mhm. Well, Mr. Hook, do you have any questions for us, or do you have any concerns you want to address before we leave today?
I think they've all been addressed. I think it's a solid plan. I would consult with his mom, but considering how this is her fault, I don't think I need to.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, do you guys have anything to add before we depart?
No, he's been doing fine in all of his subjects.
Mhm.
It's just getting used to this new adjustment.
Agreed. Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today, Mr. Hook.
No
Let
problem.
us know if there's anything more we can do.
I'll be in contact.
All right. Thank you.